Hey Omnibus collectors, it's Riley and I'm back with another haul in the style of the POV. I kind of like doing it this way. I'm really doing it right now like this because Megan is gone doing a charity event and I'm at home alone for a little while with Chewy, who is just outside on the porch sniffing around. And I have a lot of stuff that came in today and yesterday and a little bit earlier in the week, and I wanted to go ahead and do a haul for it. So let's take a look right behind me. Yeah, there's a small stack of books and then two big boxes that I haven't yet to have cut into, so we can take that journey together. There are two nice sized boxes from InStock Trades. And let's see what Chewy's up to. Yeah, he's just sniffing around. Being a weird little dog. Anyway. So let's get into these boxes. You can already see what's on the top of that stack, but let's get into the boxes first. I got my broken knife here. Slice right into this guy. Alrighty. And we have the first box open. Take out some packing materials. Oof, this one's a big one. There's a lot of stuff in here. I've been really excited to get this. Boom and ba-boom. So a lot of cool stuff on this stack. A lot of neat things that I am excited to talk about. That is a big stack. And it was actually delayed like a week and a half. So yeah, you can see on the top of this, before I talk about it, the first book on the top here is the new BPRD hardcover, and that book caused this package to be delayed about an extra week because InStock ran out of stock, kind of funny, of that book, and I had to wait until the next week for them to receive a copy until they could ship my package out. So I was hoping I was going to get this stuff earlier, but well, like I have plenty of stuff that I can read. I'm patient. And then before we talk about everything, I'll go ahead and slice into this second box here. I have zero coordination because I'm looking at like the picture on the camera. Let's go ahead and open this one. And this one is just gonna be one big ass book that I have been very excited about, and people have been showing their copies off online. I'm glad to finally be part of the club that can show it off. Ba-boom. Another giant book right there. So let me get these stacked in the order that I want to talk about them and look at them, and then we'll come back to it in just a second. All right, and we're back. So I've got two stacks here that I'm going to be talking about. The first one closest to me is this is stuff that I did not get from InStock Trades, and that's everything from the two boxes that were on the table. So I'm going to start with the stuff that was not from InStock Trades. This first book is X-Men, Magic, Storm and Illyana from the Marvel Premier Classics line. So I've talked about this line before and y'all probably already know about it. It's a line that was canceled by Marvel not terribly long ago. They put a bunch of really good classic storylines in these hardcover collections that are really, really beautiful books. I love this line. I wish they hadn't canceled it. It was a nice kind of cheap way to get a bunch of these older stories collected in nice hardcover editions. So this one is an X-Men related book. Magic, Storm and Illyana collects the 4-issue miniseries of the same name, and it's written by Chris Claremont with art by Sal Buscema, and Ron Frenz does, what is that, the line work or the colors? It's John, Ron, and Sal all together do the pencil work. So got a whole bunch of people there. But anyway, I really love the Marvel Premier Classics, and I bought this one because I am reading I'm doing my X-Men readathon, and this was a mini-series that happens during the part of the stuff that would be what I think is going to wind up being in the third hardcover Omnibus collection of Uncanny X-Men, and it deals with Illyana and what she was doing when she was taken basically into like the Belasco's, the demon Belasco, into his place, his domain, what happened during that time and why she aged like 7 years in an instant. So it was a really cool, I already read this one, it's really cool, I really enjoyed it. It's really awesome as part of Claremont's greater run on the X-Men, so If you are a fan of the X-Men and of Claremont, then I would recommend this, and it's a really nice looking book to have on the shelf as well. Anyway, moving forward, the next one I have here is, this is the original Secret Wars. They're doing the current Secret Wars by Jonathan Hickman. This is the original one. This is the Omnibus edition from Jim Shooter with art by Mike Zeck. It is a rather thin omnibus. On the back, we get to see the 12 covers of the 12 issues that are included, and then there are 4 other issues included in here. As we can see on the back, it collects 1 through 12, plus Thor 383, She-Hulk number 10. That's actually from the Dan Slott series, and then a couple issues of What If those are issues of series that are relating to Secret Wars. So I really love the original. It's kind of a cheesy event, but I really love it. I think it's great. It's a classic. It's one of the better Marvel events of all time. It's really cool, and I'm really glad that I was finally able to get this in Omnibus. I did not order this off of InStock Trades, obviously, because it's not available on InStock Trades anymore. I actually, if you've been keeping up with some of my videos from recently, my last couple, I started a Facebook group called the Omnibus Collectors Comic Swap, and this, actually right before the group, I had one of the guys who is a member in there now, named Jess, found this at a comic shop, and he said that he would buy them for me, and all I had to do was give him the money for it, and he'd send them my way. And he also offered me a trade. I had a book that he wanted, and I traded one of them for him, and then I basically paid cover on the other one, plus the shipping costs, and he gave me this one, and he also picked up Secret Wars 2, which I'm actually more excited about because I've read Secret Wars 1. I read it a while back, so it's going to be cool to have it in Omnibus and be able to look at it again, especially all that art by Mike Zeck on oversized pages. But I've never read Secret Wars 2, so I'm really excited about this one. So he did send me both of them. Really, really awesome. He packed them up really well. Really great, because these are both kind of hard to find books, and he gave them to me for a trade and for cover, and it was really just like in the spirit of the group that I made, just, you know, helping people out and finding books that people want, and, you know, offering it to them without, you know, expecting to make any money in return, basically, is my whole point of it. But anyway, so the second Secret Wars Omnibus is a lot thicker than the first one. Obviously, you can see that right here. There's a little bit of the ribbon disconnecting on the spine. I'm not so worried about that. I can fix it if I really need to. But just like all the old Marvel Omnibus and stuff, it has a really great binding there. There's like no gutter loss at all, and there's a ton of cool material inside. But anyway, he picked me up this is the variant cover rather than the classic cover, which is cool with me as long as the content is all there. And it has a lot of material on the inside as well. There's a ton of tie-in issues. It's so many tie-in issues that it actually doesn't even list them. It just says 1 through 9 plus all Secret Wars 2 tie-in issues. But there are issues of like all kinds of different series in here. We get issues of New Mutants, Captain America, X-Men, Iron Man, Fantastic Four, Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man, Avengers, Alpha Flight, Dazzler, Hulk. There's issues of all kinds of stuff in here, just rounding out this to be a really huge omnibus, collecting all the Secret Wars 2 tie-ins, and I'm really excited to have that on my shelves now. Really excited to be able to display proudly both of the Secret Wars Omnis. So I have to give a huge shout out to Jess for delivering those to me. It was a really awesome of you to do that, and I'm so appreciative. Moving on to the stack of books from InStock. The first on the top of my stack is New Mutants Classic. This is volume 7, the final volume of the New Mutants Classic books. This collects material that's actually between Mutant Massacre and Fall of the Mutants. So you can see that this has issues number 48 through 54 and annual number 3. So there's a lot of cool material in there, and this one did come from InStock Trades. They do still have a few volumes of New Mutants Classic available, including number 7 and I believe number 5. So if you are trying to track down a couple of them, they do have those. Anyway, I'm on volume 2 right now. I'm really loving it, so I'm really excited to have all of those volumes in one place. It's a really cool thing to have in my collection, especially as a huge X fan and someone who's trying to do this big readathon right now. Next book I picked up from InStock Trades is this X-Men: The Hunt for Professor X trade paperback. So this one is a bunch of material that has previously not been collected, It's by Joe Kelly and Stephen T. Siegel when they had runs on the X-Men and Uncanny X-Men titles. So let's see what this one collects. In this volume we have Uncanny X-Men numbers 360 to 365, X-Men number 80 to 84 and number 1/2, and X-Men Unlimited number 22. So there's a bunch of different writers and artists in here, and it looks like a pretty good little book. It's gonna look nice on the shelf, and it helps to fill in a gap that previously, like I said, has not been collected. So this is gonna help fill that gap, I believe, after the Operation Zero Tolerance. Now this it is, like I said, it's from Siegel and Kelly, but it collects the latter half of the runs that they did. So I'm hoping that we see another paperback edition released to be like to precede this one, to collect the former half of their collective material on the X-Men titles. All right, and the next book I got from InStock Trades is Ant-Man Scott Lang paperback. They have the new Ant-Man logo that they're using for the current series is used on the front of this. Scott Lang, of course, being the second Ant-Man after Hank Pym, and he's also the main character of the Ant-Man movie that's coming out this summer, which is pretty much the reason why they have this this book. It's kind of a film tie-in, get people familiarized with Scott Lang as a character before going to see him on the big screen. So it's a decent-sized paperback volume. It's got a lot of material from the earlier appearances. I really like that image of you get Scott on the arrow of Hawkeye. Yeah, meet the 2015 silver screen sensation in waiting, Scott Lang, the astonishing Ant-Man. So if it wasn't already obvious enough that this was supposed to be a movie tie-in kind of release. So it collects a lot of different material that is earlier appearances of the character. Marvel Premiere number 47 and 48, Iron Man number 131, 133, and 151, Avengers 195 to 196 and 223, Marvel Team Up 103, Marvel 2 and 187, and material from Avengers 181 and Iron Man 125 by a whole host of different writers and artists. So there's a lot of different material in here from different people, so you can expect a lot of cool classic looking artwork going through here. So this is a lot of stuff that I've never read before because I'm not terribly familiar with the earlier stories of Scott Lang. So this was something I thought would be really cool to grab, just to see some of those early stories with the character. Next paperback I have from InStock Trades this time is the new edition of Batman Cataclysm. This is before No Man's Land. This was, I believe, the book where the actual earthquake and all that jazz happened that led to No Man's Land. There is a huge gap between this book and the actual first paperback for No Man's Land. Sorry, I can't talk. The first paperback for No Man's Land, but that huge gap is actually going to be filled up by a couple of upcoming volumes titled Road to No Man's Land. So I've been picking up all these recent new printings and whatnot for the 90s and 2000s Batman things, and this is just the latest in DC's line of those books. So I'm really excited because it's been a lot of fun collecting this stuff. There's a lot of material that I'm glad to have, and it's really fun to be able to just read through an entire era of Batman stuff. And of course this collects a bunch of different material from a bunch of different series. Let's check it out. It's got Batman 553 to 554, Detective Comics 719 to 721, Shadow of the Bat 73 to 74, Nightwing 19 and 20, Catwoman 56 to 57, Robin 52 to 53, Azrael 40, Batman Chronicles 12, and Batman Blackgate Isle of Men number 1, Batman Huntress spoiler, Blunt Trauma number 1, Batman Arkham Asylum Tales of Madness number 1. So a lot of different material is in this book, a lot of stuff that's looking really, really cool. So I'm excited to be able to dig into that. I'm really glad that DC is collecting a bunch of these things all in these new paperback editions. And next there's the BPRD hardcover that I was talking about that made this package delayed for a week, but I'd say that it's worth it because this is a really nice looking volume. I'm really hoping that this is going to be a bridge between the Plague of Frogs hardcovers and the release of Hell on Earth hardcovers, because I've been waiting for the Hell on Earth hardcovers for a while. Anyway, I'm really excited that they did this because these stories feature a lot of favorite artists of mine. You can see Paul Azaqueta, Gabriel Ba, and Fabio Moon, Max Fumara, Dave Stewart. Just a lot of really great artists are responsible for the stuff in here. And it is titled 1946 to 1948. There were 3 miniseries, 46, 47, 48, and this collects all 3 of those miniseries. And it's just early stories of the BPRD. And the stuff that they were doing like way back in the 40s. So very cool. I can't wait to dig into that collection. It's been a long time since I've read any like Hellboy / BPRD stuff, so I'm really excited to finally get back into it with this really beautiful looking collection. And another oldie but goodie. This one was also on InStock Trades. This is The Punisher by Garth Ennis, Punisher Max, oversized hardcover volume 3. I believe they have the first 3 are still available on InStock Trades right now. 4 obviously is the one that's going to be really difficult to grab, and then 5 is getting harder to grab, so I'm still kind of looking for it. But they do have 1 through 3, so if you're interested in those, you can definitely get those on there for, I believe this was about 17 bucks. Content, Punisher 25 to 36, nice little chunk of the series in here. Nice looking cover and back cover, and then of course, look on the inside. It is an older oversized hardcover, so while it does have like stitched binding, it's not as loose as some of the newer ones might be. And since it's not a really big book, it doesn't really have much effect. Like, it's not like I'm sitting here like, oh, it's 1,000 pages and it's really hard to read. Like, it's a pretty small book, so it's not too difficult to read. But anyway, in my last few videos, I've been mentioning that I've been trying to track these books down. I already had the first 2, and then I found the oversized hardcover edition of Born, and now I have the 3rd one, and then my eternal struggle to find volumes 4 and 5 are going to begin now, as well as the first to last hardcover, which I believe is also oversized. Anyway, so yeah, really awesome. Really happy to finally have this. I was actually worried that that was going to be a book that InStock Trades was going to tell me that they did not have in stock, because when my order got delayed, I was like, it's probably for the Punisher, isn't it? And then I looked and I was like, no, it's BPRD. So that was kind of funny. Anyway, now my last 2 are 2 really big ones that I've been really excited about for a while now. The first of these 2 is Annihilation Conquest Omnibus. This one has already become like really sought after, I guess. Like, people have been going crazy trying to grab this book, and it has been selling like hotcakes. At this moment, InStock is already out of stock of copies of the Annihilation Conquest Omnibus. They might be getting more in the future, but for now, if you want to get one, you can go to Amazon or Cheap Graphic Novels and find one there. But I grabbed this the day that it released. I ordered my copy, and I am so happy to finally have it. I've been seeing people on the site showing their copies off, and I've been so jealous because I've been sitting here patiently waiting. Like, I paid for it, I bought it, but it's not here yet. So this collects a bunch of different material from the Annihilation Conquest crossover. Nova number 1 through 12 and annual number 1, which is really awesome that they included all that stuff, because that it does cross over, but it wasn't collected in the actual original Conquest paperbacks. Then it also has Conquest Prologue number 1, Annihilation Conquest Star-Lord 1 through 4. That's the actual miniseries where this team of the Guardians of the Galaxy, the one that we're more familiar with from the movies, that's where they actually formed. So that's a hot ticket item because of that. Quasar number 1 through 4, Wraith number 1 through 4, Conquest 1 through 6, and Annihilation Saga. So that's the entirety of the Annihilation Conquest series, all in one big book. Like I mentioned, it has the debut of the current team of the Guardians of the Galaxy, and this goes forward into Dan Abnett and Andy Lanning's ongoing Guardians run, because they did write the main event and the Nova issues and the Star-Lord miniseries for this volume. It also features Ultron as the villain, so 2 really big properties at the moment are coming to head in this volume, and it's really awesome that Marvel decided to release this, and I really hope that they go ahead and later release omnibus editions for War of Kings, Realm of Kings, and the rest of the Abnett Lanning material in Cosmic Marvel, because there's a lot of stuff out there, really awesome material, and I want to see all of it across these nice, huge hardcover editions. Anyway, I just wanted to flip through it to show off some of the cool artwork. It does have a pretty decent looking... Oh, my little ribbon is coming undone right here, but it's just the little cardboard outer part, so everything's fine. The binding is going to be fine. It's just a little paper on the outside. Not too concerned. But great looking eye hole going through there. If you watched my last video, you might remember me talking about how the Star Wars Omnibus did not have a very big eye hole. But this one has great binding on it, great Soden binding, so there is like no gutter loss on this, and it's great. Anyway, I really recommend this series. I really loved it back when I was reading it originally, so if you are able to grab it, I highly recommend doing so. And finally, the big kahuna of this order, JSA Omnibus Volume 3 by Geoff Johns, with Alex Ross and a bunch of other artists and whatnot in here. There is a lot of material in this one. This is a attractive volume. I've seen people posting pictures of this one as well. They've been posting it on the shelf with their first and second volumes, and I have to say that they just look amazing next to each other on the shelf. It's got a nice black cover, and the back has another cool image by Geoff Johns, by Alex Ross, The Next Age. And this actually collects the second series. The first two volumes collects the entirety of the first JSA series that Johns did, along with a little bit of material from James Robinson. This one collects the second series that started up, so it collects issues 1 through, well, it has 76 through 87, and then it has 1 through 28, as well as annual number 1, Justice League of America 8 to 10, which are tie-ins, and then Kingdom Come specials, all 3 of those. So a lot of really cool material is collected in this volume. Of course, the series did continue on after issue number 28, but it was by different writers. It wasn't by Geoff Johns anymore. So this would be the end of the Geoff Johns volumes. And since it doesn't say anything about Johns on the spine, it says, you know, Justice Society of America Omnibus Volume 3. I'm thinking maybe there's a possibility that they collect the rest of the material. I know it's not as good as the Geoff Johns run, but as a completionist, I hate to say it, but I would have to buy a 4th volume if they released all that material. Anyway, take a look inside so we can figure out how good the binding is. I'm just going to go ahead and open it to the middle real quick, and it looks pretty great. It looks pretty damn good, especially for a DC book. And the second one looked about as good as well, so really nice sized eye hole going on in there, which means there's not going to be any worry about gutter loss or any worry about that snapping shut when you're trying to read it. So initial concerns about DC's binding are completely out the window on this one. I'm happy to say it looks like DC has finally solved their binding problem. It took them long enough, but they finally did it. So anyway, this is all the stuff that I've got from various places. This is my 3rd haul of June 2015. And I honestly still have like 4 or 5 books coming in the mail right now. So a lot of cool material from different places. So anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. It always means a lot to me that you guys take time out of your day to watch these videos that I make. I hope that they help you in deciding whether or not you want to buy some of these books. I hope that, you know, these in-depth looks at some of the, you know, the binding or the artwork or whatever, how the books actually look, actually help you to decide whether you want to give the companies your good hard-earned cash. As always, please like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed this video and you would like to see more. Stay tuned for more videos in the near future. And be sure to go check out the website, www.theomnibuscollector.com, and check out my newly opened Facebook page, The Omnibus Collectors Comic Swap, where it's just a really awesome community of people who are all lovers of comics and collected editions and omnibus editions, and we're all talking about what's cool, talking about what we're looking for, talking about what we found and what we're reading, all that good stuff. It's a really awesome community. I hope that you'll join in and have fun in there. And just, you know, as always, again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.